huge spark defensively. And after 2 losses back-to-back, I know Lansing has been focusing a lot on defense, so he threw Christian Williams in the starting role. And what was huge is he hit the first 3 of the game on the first ISU possession, just sparked the crowd, and then he ended up hitting 2 more threes early in the game.
He was going crazy.
But
I heard that, you see, at the time of that game was the time I was doing the writing for the Tribune Star, but I was talking to my friend, and he was like, yeah, Christian Williams was hooping. Yeah, bro, and it's huge to have someone like that come in, because everyone knows Christian Williams' ability, but not every game he has provided it offensively. Yeah. And to see him, 13 points on the day, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, he hit 3 threes. Big-time Christian Williams game. Yeah, and you look at LaRavia, 20 points this game, and then the game coming up they got against Drake. Yeah. He's going to be a key factor in that just because of how good of a game he had against Drake last time. What, he had like 21 or something? Points, yeah. So for him coming off a good game, 20 points, 10 rebounds, you feeling good. That's good confidence under your belt. You go into this next game, it should be better. At home again. You're back at home. Yeah, back to back. And with Key, he had only 10 points, 1 rebound against Bradley, but and he didn't really – first off, 10 points isn't bad. Yeah, I'll take 10 points. You look at what he did against Drake, and he only had like 8 points. And now that's where the problem comes in at, because he has to be able to execute against Drake. We need that. And I was talking because I don't, like I said, 10 points isn't that bad to me. 1 rebound, obviously, that I wouldn't be happy with that. But I was listening to Coach Lansing and some of the stuff he was saying, and he felt like Bradley held Tyreek. It made him have to pass the ball a lot more. Well, 10 points for Tyreek Key is low. I mean, we've seen him almost get 30. We've seen him get 30, averaging 14.5 points the last 4 games. That's not where Tyreek Key wants to be. He wants to be in that 16, 18, 20-plus range. That's where, honestly, Indiana State needs him to be if they want to make any sort of run, in my opinion. And, yeah, we heard Lansing say earlier just gave credit to Bradley's defense, and then that's what every team's going to do. Like I said, obviously the defense couldn't have been that good because they lost. They lost, yeah. But I understand what he's saying because his star player couldn't do what he usually does. And I had program feed in my headset. I was doing stats that game for Fox. And I heard the announcers talking the whole time, and they just kept saying, look for Tyreek Key to step up. Because there was a lot of times in this game where Indiana State went long stretches without getting a bucket. Each team would go on a run in this game. Bradley went on like a 23-5 run to end the first half. There were points where Indiana State's offense were struggling to get a bucket, and those are the times where you want to see Tyreek Key step up. But then again, coming into this game and every other game, everyone knows Tyreek Key is dominant, so they game plan to stop him. So you got to give credit to the opposing team for every time they can contain Tyreek Key as much as they could, but it's not going to happen every game. Tyreek Key's going to get Tyreek Key buckets, and look for him, honestly, to bounce back maybe Wednesday against Drake. Yeah, and this is what Coach Lansing had to say about Tyreek Key and the Bradley game.
Give Bradley credit. If you can get Tyreek to be that passive, I've never seen him like that. So it was a struggle there in the first half, and it really negatively affected our defense. But guys gutted it out and earned one tonight. It was a good win.
Do you feel like what he said as far as it affecting them a little bit? Do you think that happened? And it definitely does, and he said the perfect word for it. Bradley made Key passive. Tyreek Key wasn't even really getting the ball a lot. He wasn't looking to be that active scorer for him. But and then it showed the last couple games. You'll hear Lansing say in every interview the last couple games that they've been losing, when they don't score offensively, it's affecting how they play defensively, and you can't let that happen. If you're not getting buckets on the offensive end, for you to facts, you got to come back and get the ball back and give your chance again on the offensive side. And when they went on those runs where they couldn't score, that's what was happening. They didn't get a basket, and then Bradley would come and get easy buckets on the other end. But they did lock it down a few times, and they didn't let missed chances affect defensive down the stretch. So it was a good way. They pulled it out. It was tied 50-50, and then Indiana State ended up going on an 11-3 run to close it out
160-153. So shout out to them. And they got Drake at home tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm looking for just Laravia, Key, Barnes, and Williams. Those are the 4 people I'm looking in particular to stand out just because they did last time they played Drake. So hopefully they can come out and do their thing. And not even just Christian Williams. I'm talking about Trey Williams. I'm expecting Christian Williams to do good just because of the last game he just played. But I am excited to see it because it's a guy that plays for Drake named DJ Wilkins. And in high school, I played against his high school in football, and he was the starting quarterback, so it's good to kind of see him.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's good to kind of see him playing college ball now. It just happened to be basketball, but it's still good to, see that.
Right on.
All right, let's take a look at this Indiana versus Maryland game.
Man, I wanted IU to get this one.
It's a tough loss for them to take. But how do you feel about what you've seen out of that?
Well, it was a very tough IU loss. So they were down double digits at halftime. I actually left at halftime, and then I came back, and I looked at my TV, and they were up like 8. So I don't know what happened at the beginning of the second half. That's what I didn't see. But they went on a huge run. But then, again, just down the stretch, they couldn't do what ISU did and close the game. Yeah. Maryland went on a run, and IU just couldn't get a basket, man, and their half-court offense was looking bad. The best player on the team, Trace Jackson Davis, or one of the best players on the team, he had the easiest shot you could ever ask for at the buzzer, at the rim, and just missed it. Yeah. So they had a really
he still led in scoring and everything too. He had 13 points, but
they had They had a chance at the buzzer. They missed it. It would have been awesome for it to go down. The whole place would have erupted. But IU just couldn't hold it out, man.
Yeah, sometimes it's just so close but no cigar. Sometimes that's how it is. You were close to getting everything you needed, but you just couldn't get everything you needed.
Yeah.
And that's what this game is, 77-76. That's not a bad score at all. And then if you look at the stats, man, they're going back and forth and everything. It's people that were scoring a lot. They didn't get out rebounded by that much.
Yeah.
So I just think, when it comes to that type of stuff, it's like I said, it's close but no cigars. You can't always get the win sometimes, and
it would have been huge because a couple days before, they played a ranked opponent, number 11, Michigan State.
And they haven't been ranked. Have they been ranked all season?
They haven't been ranked at all. They're 15-5. They're 6th in the Big Ten right now.
5-4 in the conference.
Yeah. So they had a home win against Michigan State, huge against a ranked opponent. Had another chance to get another win against a ranked opponent at home. Didn't get it. Now they're on the road tomorrow night at Penn State, another ranked opponent. And one thing about the Big Ten this year, if you guys didn't know, it's very, very hard to win on the road. I forget what the record is, but away teams in the Big Ten have not been lucky this season. Now, luckily, Indiana won their last road game against Nebraska a couple days ago. So they have a road win already started. Let's see if they can get 2 in a row tomorrow against Penn State. Now, this win, if they would have beat Maryland when these new rankings come out, within the next couple of days, they actually might already be out. They would have been ranked. And it would have been awesome to see IU back in the top 25. They actually probably would have been ranked, I would have say, somewhere in the teens. I mean, they beat the number 11 team and they beat the number 17 team.
Yeah.
I would have put them somewhere between 10 and 20. But they didn't get it, and they're still unranked, unfortunately.
Now, this next game, you actually got to be there.
Dude.
In person, so you got to watch this go down in front of you, but you got to see Butler beat Marquette 89-85 in overtime. Tell me how that experience was.
One of the greatest basketball games I probably have ever had the chance to see live.
Well, hey,
if any
there you guys go.
Facts. If any of you guys are listening or in the Indianapolis area or just love basketball and would like to go to a game at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Go watch Butler play because
number 13. That's probably one of the better teams that's in Indianapolis because
they were ranked 5th, which was huge. What I'll talk about is this is a huge win, and what made it so special in there and just that atmosphere is because they were ranked all the way at number 5 a couple weeks ago, or in the same week, excuse me. And they had lost 3 straight games. So they were plummeting down in the rankings, and they needed to get this win. against a really good unranked Marquette team who has Marcus Howard, who everyone knows, #1 scorer in the country. Dude is insane. To see him live too, he's going to be special.
And he still had a good game. 26 points.
Yep,
isn't bad. But you take a look at the turnovers, and I feel like that is, something that can be a big cause to your losses.
Yeah.
And Butler won the battle when it came to that. So I think.
What were the turnover numbers?
Well, Marquette had 14 and Butler had 11. And
nice.
Even though it wasn't that much,
right?
That little turnover can decide a whole game when it's as close as 89
and then you look
to 85.
At the points off turnovers. If Butler was scoring off Marquette, that is how turnover numbers stand out. But Kamar Baldwin of Butler, I'm going to be honest, coming into the game, I didn't know about him. I don't know a lot about Butler, to be honest with you. He had 31 points, 19 points in the final 8 minutes of the game. Dude was a boss, and dude just like.
And he was knocking down his free throws,
right.
Which is another important thing to me. So
just back on about just how special Butler basketball is there. Like pregame, they announced their new mascot, and they use like an actual bulldog, like a real dog.
I know. I used to go to those games.
They held up the new puppy like Simba, bro, and like the whole place just like Hinkle Fieldhouse. Like I left there with a headache just because of how loud. And just
that's a good thing.
Yes, you couldn't ask for a better experience. And they won in overtime. Like after every bucket, the place just erupts. Butler was down late in that game, and they went on a late run to take the lead. Just like man, and I was up on Game Cam, but we were the in-house production, so like every timeout, like we didn't go to commercial, so we still had to get stuff, and like they were just saying, get crowd shots. Like I was the one getting the crowd shots. People were waiting for them to see, and then when they would see them, they would just freak out. Like their student section is special.
That's funny.
Like nothing beats a college basketball atmosphere, and I was blessed enough to be there for that game, and they won. And like I said, it was a huge home win because they had been struggling, and they needed to get back where they were. So hopefully Butler can string together a few more wins off this one and make a run in the tournament.
All right, well, the last thing I want to say about this game for sure is free throws. Like I just mentioned earlier, That's a big thing. Marquette was 68% from the free throw line. Butler was 87% from the free throw line.
There you go.
Which can explain the win also. Hey, free throws are a big deal. You got to knock those down. That's why they call it a free throw.
Yep.
You get a free point.
Yep.
So, that's a big deal also. Let's take a look at some other things going on. Now, this is just in. This isn't even on the script or anything. But the judge has freed NFL star Antonio Brown. He has to wear an ankle monitor. He has house arrest restrictions. So basically what the article says, because I have it right in front of me, it says a Florida judge freed NFL free agent Antonio Brown from house arrest Tuesday, allowing him to travel freely so I guess he's not on house arrest.
Yeah, I guess he was, and now he's not. Okay.
He allowing him to travel freely as he awaits for his trial on charges that he attacked the driver of a moving truck. It says in a video posted on Instagram, Brown panned to his ankle and said, "I'm about to get this taken off. I'm free to go." His bail is $110,000. His bail, $110,000 bail, remains in place if he still surrenders and he has to surrender his passport, possess no weapons or ammunition, and submit to a mental health evaluation or random drug testing if he loses the case. So
I think they should evaluate him for mental health because I think something's wrong up there in his head. But
that's something that I just seen. Not recently, I seen that it was like a picture of him getting hit. I don't know who put the hit on him.
I think it was that Burfict dude. I think like the same guy who smacked Jack Doyle this season.
And they were like, he needs to be banned from the NFL.
Yep.
But at the same time, man, I'm sure Antonio, I still feel the same way about it as I said on the last episode as far as concussions and stuff, man. Antonio Brown, he's a grown man.
Facts.
We knew what he was playing before. These people know that they're playing football. These people know
what they signed up for.
Yeah, and they know. So, and me as a player, because I played football before, I knew that I was putting myself in danger.
Yeah.
But I just love the game that much to the point where I didn't care.
And that's how a lot of them are too.
Yeah.
And we discussed it last time.
Yeah. So that's something that people don't understand, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit you guys with Dozier's Did You Know?
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Dribbles with the left hand, the three-pointer up, the three-pointer down! Oh!